What's going on, everybody? Thanks for checking in again. Saving an awesome item here. Last thing in the house for me today, then I'm headed out, but I saved this for you guys to check out. It's our double door for our office. This one's got glass in it, so got to be a little extra careful, but I'm going to show you what it takes to get this guy installed. I'm doing it all by myself, and show you the little tips and tricks so maybe you at home can learn to do it yourself. Thanks for checking in, guys. I'm Hunter. Hammer that like button for that YouTube algorithm. Helps keep me moving. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think on this one. I'm not receiving a bunch of comments right now, so let me know what you think on how I did. And maybe you have a better tip and trick to show me, so maybe I can learn something as well. So let's dive into it. First thing we need to do with this guy, guys, is measure out for our casing. So what I'm going to do, we're going to come down to the end. Get my tape measure on the end. Oh, and I'm going to drop it because I wasn't holding it. Tape measure on the end. And I'm going to want to add 3/16 to my measurement. So it looks like it's 81 and a half. We're going to do 81 and 11. So 81 and 11. 11/16 that is. And then for the header, guys, we're going to want to put our tape measure down there so it's on the inside of the jamb. We're going to want to come up here to the top. We're going to want to add 3/8 to this measurement. So 60 and 7/8 for the header on this one. So we got that casing outside ready to go at the saw. Let's go outside and let's get that cut real fast. We got the casing cut to our measurements. Lean them up against the wall over here for now. Now we're gonna wanna go times that twice. One set for each side of the door. So got the other set, leaning on the opposite side, ready for us later. Let's go through just a couple tools real fast, guys. We're definitely gonna need a nice level for what we're gonna do on this door. Set that off to the side. I do have two guns that I'm using. We're gonna use a 2-inch 16 gauge, and we're using 1.25 inch 18 gauge nails. And some shims. So it's really all we need. Now it's just the knowledge to getting this bad boy in the hole. First thing we want to check is the width and the height of the door to make sure it fits the opening. Got about 60 and 5/8 roughly. 82 and 1/8. So let's check it out. And just, you know, trust me on this one, guys. We got 61 7/8. Looks like a little bit 83. So on the height, we definitely have enough room. On the width, we're gonna be a little snug, but we're gonna fit. Definitely check that out. Maybe you got some finished flooring in and you're doing this with finished flooring. So definitely verify that height measurement. And maybe if it's too small to fit, maybe you need to cut the door down because of your finished floor. So in that case, you would just trim a little off of each side on the bottom, on that side, and a little off of this side on the bottom. Don't go any more than 5/8. Usually that's my measurement that I stick to if you're gonna take anything off the bottom. If you take anything more, the door is gonna get super close to the floor, rub on carpet, rub on area rugs, depending on where the door swings. So no more than 5/8 is usually what I like to stick to. All right, so next step, guys, is prepping this door out so we can set it upright and case it. So we gotta lean this over here. And just follow me through this for a second. I'm just gonna take all this off. Okay, guys, we got that kind of stripped off. So right now, the door's loose on the bottom. So this is kind of a crucial, need to be careful on this step. We also need to kind of hold the door Sometimes I like to kind of hold it with my knee with what we're doing here just a little bit. But we also have a scrap piece. What we're gonna do with this scrap piece is we're gonna nail it to the bottom. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna secure us at a specific reveal that we're gonna set. And it's gonna allow us to lean the door over, set it up right, and also move it into the hole while we're working with it. We need this security. A lot of people don't do this step, so focus in on this. Like, this is a huge, easy thing to do for a double door by yourself. Okay guys, so we got our piece on here. We wanna hold it flush, kind of eyeball, split the difference here. Let's get a shot with the nice.
Make sure that piece is facing in so you can hammer it off when you want to.
Okay, good point, Bri, yeah. When we're doing this too, guys, make sure this piece is flush on the back side and it has an overhang on the inside of the door here. So let's get this piece on. Three shots, nice and flush. Okay, swing around to the other side real quick. I usually like to get some sort of a pry bar, maybe a screwdriver. Let's get it in there nice and secure. And we're just creating a nice, better reveal. So we're gonna be opening this up. If you have the door just sitting down on top of it, we're not gonna have a nice reveal at the end. So put something in there. Could be a screwdriver, some sort of a pry bar. And what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna get 3 shots. And I'm kind of flexing it up with my arm too, just for that reveal. And 3 more shots. And make sure your piece is flush as you're doing these shots too. 2, 3. And this piece should be able to come out pretty easily. It shouldn't be jammed in there. So we still have a nice reveal. Sorry guys, the door's wobbling as I'm trying to hold it for you. Still have a nice reveal. We've got an overhang on this side of the door. Let's go to the next step. All right, a little out of breath. We got the door back up into position. I just had to really easily lean it over, get it upright, but with the block on the bottom that we've nailed, we still have our reveal. And it's still holding the door together. So putting that block on, that was the first crucial step for using this piece to get the door up into position. A lot of other people struggle because the door kind of goes like that if there's no security on the bottom of it, obviously, to get it into the hole. So we got 2 nails up top. You'll need to remember that. If you've got 2 screws up top, you'll also need to remember that, and then you might need a drill to take those screws out. That'll come in a little bit, but something to know. Got our pieces of casing. We're just gonna lean these down here off to the side. Here's our header piece. So let's get it up here, guys. What I like to do, I like to put it straight on the line over here. Just eyeball it to start. Then I come to the other side. So slip down to the other side for me. And look, I'm just a hair short on this side of that line. So let's just barely move it. And I don't even know if you guys saw me move it there to split the difference. So now I'm eyeballing my 3/16 reveal on my jamb to my casing. Got my 1 1/4 gun. So let me install this casing, guys, and keep it moving. Same thing, guys. I want that 3/16 roughly maybe a quarter, 3/16 to a quarter reveal. And I just follow that all the way down the jamb. So let me reload with some more bullets. I do on this, I want 1 shot at the top and 1 shot at the bottom of the hinge. maybe a shot in the middle, but every hinge, one shot at the top, one shot at the bottom. Okay, one more shot at the top here, guys. Like to hit it up at the top, get it in the miter. One shot, and we'll be able to barely adjust that and sand that later, but right now, miter looks pretty close. We'll be able to sand whatever. So let's head over to the other side. All right, guys, casing's on the door. So theoretically, yes, we are case hanging this door. Got it all shot on, nice and tight. We glued our miters. Still nice and tight here at the bottom. So we are ready at this point to get this door into the hole. So another crucial step of having this block on is getting the whole door into the hole without everything falling apart in a sense. So what I want to do, guys, is, I want to pinch my foot a little bit. The door's pretty much sitting on my foot. Got my hand in the hole, kind of over here on the hinge in the side, and I'm gonna want to kind of just do a little lift and walk system, because this is by myself, remember, and this door's a little heavier with the glass, and I just want to keep lifting and walking to get it close to the hole over here. So now that I'm close, now it's just giving it a little extra tug, but I still want to make sure this bottom doesn't come apart. Give it support. Get this guy, start sliding it in. Come back over to this side. Slide it in. Come back over to this side. She's in the hole. Remember those 2 nails holding the door to the jamb up top, or your 2 screws? Now's the time to get those out. So I got my little claw, feeling with my hands up here. There goes 1. I know that there was 2. If you had 2 screws, probably would have needed to get the ladder for that. I was able to just reach up and do that. If you had 2 screws up there, get on the ladder, use your drill, unscrew those. So now your header's loose to the doors. Next step, guys, get out your handy level. And what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna wanna put it up next to the 3 hinges and see where we're at. Looks like we're just a hair out. A hair out. Maybe double check this side too. Check this out. Just a hair out on this side. So given this condition, guys, step back for me, Bri. Thank you. Since it's out, I just know right off the bat, my level, to get it level, needs to come this way. So the door, since it's all one unit, needs to be lifted on this side in order to get this level. So I got a shim. Remember, your door's still loose, so you still gotta kind of hold it in there and be careful. But I need to get a shim down here. So I just need to do a gentle lift. And now the door's up on the shim. We got about 1/8 of an inch up. Like it. And look at that, guys. We got our bubble better in the lines just by lifting this jamb up on this side. Let's go and check this side out. Check that out. Bubbles in the lines. I like it. Okay. So we know we're level or we're plumb this way on both doors. So now it's time to secure the top header. What we want to do is we want to keep this same reveal from the top of the door to the jamb, and you should be able to flex it a little bit here. So we want to keep the same reveal, and we want to nail our casing to that reveal. Okay, only nailed the header, so now our door is not going to fall out on us. Next step is I like to spread the hinges a little bit the best I can. So I like to give a little, pushing the door in a little bit, not too hard, so you push the door and it rips the casing off. Give the door a little push, and I just do a couple taps with a gun, not to scratch, not to hurt anything, but a couple taps that sometimes just moves the door a little bit. 2 shots at the hinge. 2 shots at the hinge, crucial. Let's do 1 more up top, 1 more on the side. This top side secured, let's head over to this side. Same step, I'm gonna wanna just tap this over just a little bit to try to get a little bit better reveal up top. So let's just do a little tap and nail. Secure this corner up top, holding the casing while I'm shooting it to keep it from rolling on me, holding the casing. It's starting to look better here, guys. So the whole top of the door is secured. Now we need to work our way down each side. Now what I'm gonna wanna do is also get 2 shots at the center of both sides. So let's get 2 shots at this hinge, and then that center hinge. Let's come over to this side, 2 shots at this center hinge. Once again, guys, kind of just with my other hand, just pushing the door a little tight up into the drywall. 2 shots, 2 shots. Now let's work our way down to the bottom. Now since it's such a heavy door, I actually like to put pressure this way, just a little bit, because the door with the weight eventually wants to sag down this way. So I like to sometimes get the hammer, just a couple little taps, just moves the casing, the jamb just a little bit. You probably couldn't have seen it that much from right there. 2 more shots at the hinge. Now, want to keep in mind this reveal in between the door and the jamb. We don't want the door and the jamb to be rubbing, so sometimes get a little pry or something in there. And let's give 1 more shot so it is not touching. Let's look up. How's this one doing? This one's looking pretty good. Maybe a little tiny wedge. 1 more shot to hold. Now check the bottom out. The bottom is just a little open. Let's just do a little tap. Boom, maybe a little hair too much, but you could tap that. Ha, tap that in a little bit. Tap that, haha. Now let's push the door, make sure it's nice and tight to the drywall. It's nice and tight. 2 shots at the bottom. 2 shots. Okay. Same thing on this side, guys. It's the same routine. Let's get more ammo in the gun. Come down to this side. I'm gonna wanna tap in a little bit with the hammer, just so it barely moves, just 2 shots. Little flex in here just to create a little bit better of a gap so it's not touching. And watch, it'll flex back a little right as I take it out. Just a little bit, but it left us a nice little gap. Let's check the bottom out. Bottom looks pretty good. Pushing in. All right, guys, so we got all the casing secured to the wall, leveled from the hinges. So our handy block is now needed, this needs to go. Now this was probably the handiest thing throughout all this process. Tap that down, and it held our reveal, guys, which is really nice. It looks like we're still holding a pretty nice reveal. It gets a little tight in the center here. Maybe there's a little flexing we can do in a minute, but it held our reveal. It held the door to get it in, so this piece can go. Next step is we had those 6 nails in the bottom. So I get my handy tool and just gently, oh, that one snapped. So in that case, guys, shoot. We have a tiny little nail sticking on the bottom. At the very end, we're gonna pop the door off the hinges and we're gonna set all the nails. But right now, if you can get most of those nails out of the bottom, kind of like that one, get them out. All right, guys, we took the piece off the bottom. The nails are out of the bottom. Yes, there's a couple that are under there that we'll have to take it off and tap it in. But look at that, the doors can now open. And we need to be a little gentle because it's just being held on by the casing and some nails, but it's in here, guys. And there's these little tabs that I'm taking off the door. All right, so shim bucket. So let's jump out here to the other side now. Next step, guys, is to get these bad boys, and we need to shim the door. Now, the purpose of doing this is to add security so the jamb doesn't flex. So we need to make sure we fill these gaps pretty nicely. So the way I do it, though, is I'm pushing it in, and it needs to be nice and snug to the point where you're not flexing the jamb out, but the shim is also holding in there, and it's not gonna move. So it's kind of a little process here of figuring out, looking, eyeing it, maybe taking a little off to get it in there nice and snug to make sure it's not gonna move. But we need it at 6 points at each hinge. So 1 point at each hinge, 6 total. All right, 6 points of contact with our shims. Each location is located right by the hinge. So let's get our one door that you can lock into position. Since this is a double door, for this case, we can lock this door into position. Let's get this guy shut right now. And our next step is we need to figure out how we can get these doors to close nicely. Right now, we're hitting at the bottom, but we're open at the top. So we need to adjust that, guys. Now, before we adjust that, we also need to check one more thing with the level. We need to check the level this way against the jamb and see where we're at. So we're actually looking pretty dead level. I'm super happy with that. Let's also check this side too. This one's just a hair off. So we know, in this case, okay, get up close to the wall for me, Brian. So the air bubble's a hair off, so let's get it level. We know the top of the door has to come this way to get the bubble level, or, Brian, stand back a little bit. I'll still hold the level where it is. Or the bottom can go in order to get this jamb a little bit more plumb. So we know that. This side, I'm gonna draw my arrows. This side can come this way, or the bottom side can go that way to get this side just a little bit more plumb. I know down here I'm nice and flush with the drywall, so instead of maybe tapping the bottom jamb this way, I want to suck the jamb just this way, just a little bit to help us get into plumb. So let's get our first shot on the jamb here on this side, and I'm going to get my hammer. I'm just going to use that as a little pry bar up here, and I'm just gonna pull the jamb in just a little bit, and I'm gonna get 3-4 shots on the shim. While I'm holding, let off. So this top corner is now secure. Tap that shim out, get it nice and prepped for the casing, nice and flush, so we can move on from that corner. Now, come on over to this side for me, and let's check out our reveal. And we're hitting just a hair at the bottom, and we're open at the top. So we secured 1 point just to kind of get this a little bit more plumb and level. Now, this side was already pretty much money when it came to being plumb and level, but we can just do a minor adjustment just to get this reveal better for this door. So if it's hitting at the bottom, we know just how it's pivoting on the hinges. If we tap the bottom over, we're gonna open this up if we tap this in. Or we can pry this side in a little bit to pull this gap in. Or suck this side in, and it'll get that. So there's many different ways of trying to figure out how to get this reveal proper. The best thing that I can tell you in doing this, though, is just taking your level, checking these, making sure that these are within the lines, doing a little adjustment at the beginning, and now just kind of going from there, getting your reveal to hit nice and tight. So In this case, I'm gonna do a couple adjustments. One's gonna be at the top. I'm gonna suck the top in a little bit. 2 shots, 3, 4, at that shim. Get my hammer back in. That guy's good. Let's check our reveal again. Hitting at the bottom, just a hair open at the top. Come down to this corner. I like to kind of put my toe, and I'm tapping it, not hitting it too hard. Just getting it to move a little bit, check it, and look at that, guys. I am hitting nice up at the top, and I'm hitting nice at the bottom. All I'm trying to do here is just pinch these two together, because this is where the door and the latch are gonna meet up, pretty much the most critical point of the door. So pinching those two together, I'm nice and tight on both sides. 4 shots. Tap that shim out of there. All right, guys, so I'm happy. We've secured 3 locations, and the door is hitting pretty darn nice all the way up. So in the regards of the 3 other locations, I just need to shoot the shims through the jamb and secure those. So let's do it. We got one side over here, and then 2 over here. 1, 2, 4 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. So now 4 shots at the 6 locations. Let's take all the shims off, and let's make sure everything is nice and clean for our casing to get to lay flat on our jamb right now. So let's get all the shims out of the way. Sometimes maybe a little bit of drywall needs just to be tapped back a little bit. So just tap a little bit on this edge. Now let's go to the other side, because that side's nice. Head over to this side. I know there's a little tap right there. Feels good. Hit that shim. Just tap the shim back a little bit. We're not hitting too hard, so we're like damaging, it's just tapping. Keep going down. Oh, we got a little hump right there. Maybe get out the scraper. Little scrape, nice and clean. Shims, tap those out. And then get in real close with me real quick. This is kind of something to know. The shims are breaking off here right at the end of the jamb. They are pinched solid, and it's dark in there, but they're all the way to the back. If you're tapping your shim and it's falling apart, it's not solid enough. It's falling apart and falling inside. It's nice and secure right there. It's breaking off at the end. It's a good shim job right there. Okay, guys, the door's in, prepped on this side for casing. Okay, let's switch guns up. Go to the 1.25 inch. Now we've got our 3 pieces of casing for this side. Let's throw this level out of the way. Now remember, on the header, just set it up top. Remember, I get it on the line on this side of the jamb, because the jambs intersect. So I'm gonna get it on the line, come down to this side while holding it, and then I'm gonna center it out so it looks like this side. I just need roughly 1/8 on each side. Come back to the center, lift it up to my reveal, 3/16. Let's get 2 shots. 2 shots. Now let's follow this reveal down by flexing the casing. Switch back to the 2 inch, 16 gauge. And let's shoot the casing to the wall and secure it. I like to hold my miter when I'm shooting, just so it doesn't go anywhere. Hold this miter, hold it where you like it, hold it. Work your way down. One more step to go, and that's sanding the miters. Got, I need sandpaper. Got our piece of sandpaper. Let's just sand these 4 miters up, and we're gonna be finished. And there you go, guys. Awesome double door for your office. Glass on this one. They're not always glass. This was an option for this house, but hits nicely. I love the reveal all the way around. It's secure. Our latch is still lining up perfectly on this one in the hall, dude. I'm happy. In that case, we're done. I'm not the painter, so he's gonna come in, fill all the holes in the entire house, paint all of our work, but I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, hammer that like button for me, keep me moving. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.